Click, click, click. See what it did there? 4 clicks. Hello everyone, this is Take from bigheadtaco.com, and I'm here in Shanghai Alley in Chinatown. It's kind of a hidden area. A lot of people don't know about this place because they've memorialized this one block for the Chinese immigrants that came through here. And because it's memorialized, it's kind of a dead zone. So I wish they would do something cool here, like night market on Friday nights. So City of Vancouver, if you're listening or watching, probably not, do something cool with this alley to bring it back to life. But I'm here to do a review of the Fujifilm XF14mm f2.8. I love this lens. The Fujifilm has come up with some pretty cool prime lenses as well as zoom lenses that go wide. So there's the XF10 to 24, what is it now? I think it's an f4 constant, optical image stabilized, and they just came out recently with a 16mm f1.4. And so I've tested all these lenses. The one lens I have not tested, but it's not made by Fuji, is the Zeiss Tuit. Is that how it's pronounced? Zeiss Tuit 12mm f2.8. So these all go, so let's change it to full frame equivalent. This 14mm is equivalent to about a 21mm full frame angle of view, and the 16mm is about a 24mm. So of all these lenses, and then the 10 to 24 is like going like a 16 to 36, or just times it by 1.5, so whatever that is, 15 to 36 zoom lens. Out of all those lenses, the XF14mm f2.8 is probably the best balance of what is considered ultra wide, not just wide, but as well the size, weight, and the f-stop. So the wider you go, f2.8, you're not, like some people might use this lens to shoot in low light, but I think a lot of us that use ultra wides is for architectural, and there's crazy people like me that might use it for street photography. And for street photography, the 16mm APS-C or the 24mm equivalent has no longer become a wide angle. Now the old film days, 24mm prime lenses were very common because most zoom lenses started at around, like they were 28 to 70, 28 to 105, or 35 to 105. It rarely went to 24 for zoom, unless it was a press. Minolta had a 24 to 50 f4 constant, and they call it like a press zoom. But other than that, 24 was a separate prime. But as lens design, especially zoom design, got better, more and more zooms went to 24. So you had 24 to 70, 24 to 80, 24 to 90, 24 to 105. And then now in this digital era with lens design as well as digital correction, even little point and shoots have a 24mm, starts at 24mm wide angle equivalent up to like 200, 300, stuff like that. So the 24mm equivalent wide angle view, it's no longer mind-blowing in that more and more people have access to that focal length, equivalent focal length, and more people shoot at that focal length. The 14mm, which is a 21mm equivalent in full frame, I don't think there is, I'm just thinking, there is no mainstream camera other than like the GoPros or the action cameras. In terms of stills camera, the 21mm equivalent wide angle is not incorporated into any mainstream point and shoot, I don't think, or any mainstream camera, unless it's like a super or ultra wide zoom lens. I don't know why I said ultra twice. A lot of traffic noise. But the problem with the ultra wide zooms, like for instance, even the Fujifilm, the 10 to 24, it's huge. The lens is huge, it's heavy, it's big. And on the X-T10, it balances, it gets very front heavy. Now on this X-T10 and this 14mm, the XF14, it's a really nice balance. So in terms of balance, the 16mm f1.4, beautiful lens, beautiful bokeh, and nice shallow depth of field. But for me, shooting 16mm or 24mm wide angle equivalent, I don't really need that shallow depth of field. I actually want more depth, especially when you shoot on the street. But a 14mm, it has this real cool, dynamic, wide angle look that is just fantastic. And the 21mm, for those of you that started off shooting digital, the 21mm or even the 20mm is kind of a classic angle of view, just like what a 50mm is for street photography and let's just say a 90 or an 85mm is for portraiture, the 21mm was the classic wide-angle lens. Now the Ricoh, people know I love the Ricoh GR cameras, even from the film days. There was a famous Ricoh GR called the GR21. Now that was a small point and shoot, and it had a 21mm wide-angle lens, and it was a prime, you couldn't zoom. And as well, Ricoh made special lenses in a screw mount for Leica, and again, it was a 21mm wide angle. So that 21mm wide angle look has been around for a while. So those of us film guys that remember seeing images taking with a 21mm, it has a certain look to it that the 16mm or the 24mm wide angle, I hope I'm saying this all right, because I'm going from APS-C to full frame equivalent, but the 21mm equivalent has a look that the 24mm just doesn't have. And if you're just doing the math thinking, well, it's not just a 3mm difference from 24 to 21, but when you look through, it's quite a big difference, especially when you come up really close to your subject and there's a separation between what you're focusing on and what is in the background. There's a great separation with the 21mm, much greater than a 16 and even bigger than shooting with an 18. Again, I'm doing it, I'm going back to APS-C. But so I highly recommend this for those that love doing wide angle. A lot of it is because of its size, its weight, and it is that premium Fujifilm lens where it has that pull back focus ring. So, you know, this is so wide that just before it hits infinity, the last marker on here is 3 meters. Or in terms of feet, the last marker is 5 feet. And then from 5 feet, it's like, boop, like that, now it's at infinity. So when you stop down to, so you have the depth of field guide here. So if you stop down the F8 and you do the, I think it's called hyperfocal focus or whatever it's called, you go to infinity, F8, anything from just below 1 meter to infinity is in reasonable focus. So shooting on street, you almost don't have to focus. So that's great for those that like to shoot manually. One negative about this, and I've been harping on Fujifilm to change it, is that because there's a focus scale on the lens and there's a depth of field scale built on the lens, they don't allow you to have the scale active when you're in manual focus mode on the back here. And the reasoning for them is probably because for Fujifilm, they're thinking, well, since you have it here, there's no need to see it back here. But let's just say it's dark or you're shooting with your eye here, it is nice to be able to see your depth of field on screen or in your EVF as well as on the lens. So that's the one thing, Fujifilm, you can easily fix that in software and firmware updates. So hopefully they will do that with firmware update 4.0.1, just for me. Change that prime, because there are other lenses. So the 14mm has it, this pull back manual focus. The 16mm has it. The 23mm lens has it, and there may be others that I'm not aware of. I think that's it. And hopefully more and more of these lenses will have it. Has a dedicated aperture ring, which I really like. So overall, the 14mm, I'll be posting pictures throughout this video just so you can see what that looks like, but I had a great time shooting with it. Is it a common focal length to shoot with street photography? No, it is not. But coincidentally enough, with the Ricoh GR, it has an adapter to attach onto a wide angle converter. So the Ricoh GR has a 28mm equivalent angle of view, but with the wide angle adapter, guess what focal length it goes to? It goes to 21mm equivalent, which is on APS-C at 14mm. So it is a classic wide angle. Ricoh is aware of it, Fujifilm is aware of it, all the old film guys are aware of that 21mm classic wide angle. So I highly recommend this lens for those that are looking for a wide angle prime to shoot street, to shoot architecture, just to have let's say you have the new 16 to 56 f2.8 zoom, and you want to have one extra prime that's super wide. I think this is a good one. Not that there's anything wrong with the 16 f1.4. I just don't think a 1.4 is necessary, and that 16, it's not. I don't want to call it boring, but it's even point and shoots like the Fujifilm XQ2 has a 25mm equivalent wide angle, so it's pretty much has the same wide angle look to that lens. So, and again, comparing with the 10 to 24, the weight and the diameter of it, you sort of lose that compactness that you get on something like this. One more thing I wanted to add before I finish this video is I'm going to throw in a very quick strap review. So sailor strap, the captain, Raphael, I was bugging him about the length of his I think this is 8mm or 10mm nautical rope, nylon silk rope for their straps. They're a bit long. Now some guys like the crossbody and they're much taller or bigger and they actually like the longer length, but for me it was too long, so I tie kind of cool nautical knots, which in itself was kind of cool. But I did ask him, can he make a shorter one? And he had mentioned that there were some countries where people are shorter, or I would say normal height, and they were asking for a shorter length. So he made the shorter length just for me and asked me what I thought, and he even picked the color because he knows everyone knows I like my artisan and artist strap, and he actually matched the length. This is the exact length. I don't know what the length is, but it's the same length as the artisan and artist. But the artisan and artist, it's thinner and it uses the Japanese silk and there's a little bit more flex. This is more stable and it's thicker too. So on heavier cameras, this feels more comfortable. On lighter cameras, the artisan feels nice, but this is the perfect length. So as I mentioned in my other videos, I'm 5'5", and so even someone like Eric Kim or even taller photographers, I think even John Lehman had mentioned that even when I had the artisan and artist short, they both put it on. They like that height. So even tall guys, long as it's not crossbody, but for me, because I am smaller, even crossbody, I'm okay with where it sits. But especially in the front, to me, this is perfect height. It's just like, about this much above my belly button. So this is about where I want the camera. So Captain, thank you so much for the shorter strap length. You still have to change these, for Fujifilm, I don't know who to blame. I think I'm gonna blame Fuji. The hole is too small here. So what happens is that these rings get stuck and they don't move around so much. And I've noticed this on Artisan and Artist. I've noticed this on Child of Laborer and as well as Sailor Strap. So I don't think the problem is these strap companies. The problem is Fujifilm makes these holes too small and then it gets stuck and tight. So if you buy these straps, if you shoot Fujifilm, you have to go to the hardware store and get a thinner, not smaller, but just a thinner ring, so it will easily move around inside these strap lugs, and so you don't have this problem it getting stuck. So sorry, Captain, I don't blame you, I blame Fuji. So Fuji, make these holes bigger, please. So other than that, there we go. See, now it's loose. See that, how it moves loosely? Now this is great. So it looks beautiful, a quarter of the price of the Artisan Artist. Artisan Artist is awesome, but about $40 US, I think these straps are. So go to Sailor Strap, check these ones out. I think it's great, perfect length for street photographers and those that like to shoot it in the Asian tourist sort of a length. So yeah, that's all I wanted to add. So thank you so much for watching and we'll talk to you soon. Click, click.